Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom. There is a wisdom in restraint, a strength in silence, and a power in doing less. In a world obsessed with chasing validation and proving worth, the Stoic man stands apart. He does not bend to the fleeting desires of the moment, nor does he allow his peace to be disturbed by what lies beyond his control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And nowhere is this wisdom more vital than in how a man carries himself with women. In the pursuit of connection, many men make the grave mistake of losing themselves. They speak when they should observe, chase when they should withdraw, and compromise when they should stand firm. Let's uncover the principles a Stoic man must uphold, not just to win affection, but to command lasting respect. In the eyes of a Stoic man, approval is not something to be chased, especially not from a woman. The moment you begin to seek her validation, you place your sense of self-worth in someone else's hands. This is a dangerous position to be in because it makes you emotionally dependent. It means your confidence, your peace of mind, and even your decisions begin to revolve around whether she likes you, agrees with you, or chooses you. But the truth is, approval seeking is rooted in insecurity. And no matter how well you hide it, people can sense it, especially women. A Stoic understands that true power comes from within. He doesn't ask, "What does she think of me?" He asks, "What do I think of myself?" The difference is everything. When you live for someone else's nod of approval, you become malleable, easy to manipulate, and easy to lose. You'll start saying what she wants to hear instead of speaking your truth. You'll make compromises that go against your values just to keep her interested. You'll become a version of yourself that's more pleasing than powerful. On the other hand, when you stop needing her validation, something remarkable happens. You become centered, grounded, magnetic. Women are drawn to men who are sure of themselves, not in a loud or arrogant way, but in a quiet, calm, and unwavering presence. That's the kind of energy that lingers in someone's mind long after the conversation is over. You're not trying to impress, you're simply expressing who you are. If she accepts it, good. If not, you remain unmoved, because you were never performing for her approval to begin with. You were living by your own code, and that, more than anything, is what makes you unforgettable. Emotional control is the mark of a disciplined man. When a woman sees that her words or actions can easily shake you, she begins to question your strength. Not physical strength, but emotional resilience. In the Stoic tradition, we are taught that external events do not disturb us. Our judgments about them do. So when you lash out, sulk, beg, or try to guilt trip her, what you're really showing is that you haven't mastered your inner world. And a man who cannot govern himself is not someone a woman can trust to lead, protect, or remain steady in the storms of life. Losing your composure over a woman's rejection, silence, or even disrespect doesn't punish her. It only diminishes you. Stoicism isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about remaining unmoved by what you cannot control, and choosing your response based on reason, not emotion. The man who can look at chaos and still remain calm is the man everyone remembers. Not because he raises his voice, but because he doesn't need to. Women often test men not because they're cruel, but because they're wired to seek strength. Emotional, mental, and spiritual. These tests aren't always conscious. But when you react instead of respond, when you let your emotions dictate your behavior, you fail the test. You show her that her approval or disapproval governs your actions, and she loses the very attraction that brought her in the first place. So when things go sideways, be still. When she pulls away, don't chase. When she challenges your ego, don't defend it. Transcend it. That's the way of the Stoic. You don't need to force anything. You stand firm, not because you're trying to prove a point, but because your soul already knows who you are. And that quiet power speaks louder than anything else. In relationships, a common mistake many men make is seeking constant validation from women. This manifests in phrases like, "Do you still love me? Was that good enough? Or did I make you happy?" While these questions may seem innocent, they subtly signal insecurity and a lack of self-worth. A high-value man, a Stoic. Man does not rely on the opinions of others, especially not for his own self-approval. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we must stand upright, not be set upright by others. When you constantly seek a woman's approval, you're handing over your inner peace and emotional balance to her. This places unnecessary pressure on the relationship and erodes the natural polarity between masculine and feminine energy. The feminine wants to feel safe in the presence of grounded, centered masculine energy, not the wavering energy of a man who needs to be constantly reassured. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man needs affirmation to feel whole. And while they might offer comfort at first, over time, this neediness becomes a burden. The attraction begins to fade, not because you're not enough, but because you've shown her you don't believe you are. True confidence is silent. It doesn't need applause and it doesn't crave praise. It simply is. A Stoic man builds his self-worth from within. His actions are based on his values, not on the reactions of others. He gives love freely, but doesn't beg for it. He contributes to a relationship from abundance, not need. And because of this, he becomes unforgettable, not because he clung to her approval, but because he never needed it in the first place. He was a mountain, not a leaf in the wind. And in a world full of storms, mountains are what women remember. Oversharing too soon in a relationship is a mistake that even the most intelligent men can make. In a world that glorifies vulnerability, it's important to remember the wisdom of Stoicism. Speak only when it improves upon silence. While openness is essential in building emotional intimacy, timing and context are equally crucial. Sharing your deepest wounds, personal struggles, or emotional baggage within the early stages of connection doesn't signal strength. It often signals instability. A Stoic man understands that mystery breeds intrigue. When a man reveals every layer of himself too early, he strips away the process of discovery, which is essential for building meaningful attraction. Women enjoy uncovering the depth of a man over time. They want to be slowly invited into his world, not handed the keys on the first meeting. When you flood her with everything at once, you deprive the relationship of natural pacing and curiosity. Moreover, oversharing can create an emotional imbalance. If she hasn't earned that level of trust yet, or if she hasn't shared at a similar depth, it may feel overwhelming or worse, unattractive. She might interpret it as emotional neediness rather than authenticity. A Stoic does not unload his pain in search of comfort. He processes it with dignity and only speaks when the moment is right. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Your emotions are yours to manage, not hers. By practicing restraint and composure, you demonstrate emotional maturity and inner strength. Let her earn access to your inner world over time. Let your actions speak first. Let your character shine before your confessions. Because when a man reveals himself gradually and with purpose, he becomes not only respected, but also desired, deeply and meaningfully. Trying too hard to impress a woman is one of the most subtle yet destructive mistakes a man can make. At first glance, it might seem like a noble gesture, bringing her gifts, giving constant compliments, going out of your way to please her. But behind this behavior lies a deeper issue, the belief that your worth must be proven, not lived. And that belief is poison to the Stoic spirit. A man rooted in Stoicism understands that value is not something you convince others of. It is something you embody through calm presence, consistent discipline, and silent strength. When you seek to impress a woman by changing your behavior, interest, or values to fit her expectations, you are not showing confidence. You are showing insecurity. She doesn't need a man who tries to become her idea of perfect. She wants a man who is already whole, already grounded, already walking his own path. The more you chase approval, the more it slips through your fingers. She will sense that your attention is not coming from abundance, but from a place of lack. It's not admiration you're offering. It's validation seeking disguised as charm. And over time, that neediness becomes repellent. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally self-sufficient, men who don't beg for attention but command it through quiet assurance. Stoic men do not need to perform. They lead with authenticity, not gimmicks. They are unaffected by whether others approve or disapprove. They act according to principle, not praise. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So don't impress, express. Don't chase, stand firm. Be a man so grounded in who he is that she can't help but be drawn to the silence, the strength, and the stillness you carry. Allowing a woman to control the emotional tone of a relationship is a critical mistake many men make without realizing the consequences. When a man loses his emotional center and starts reacting to her mood swings, tests, or manipulations, he gives away his power, silently telling her that she is the leader of the emotional dynamic. This shift can be subtle, but it's profound. It marks the moment when he stops being the anchor and starts being the passenger in a vehicle he no longer steers. A Stoic man understands that his inner state must remain untouched by external turbulence. His emotions are not up for negotiation, and certainly not dictated by someone else's chaos or charm. If a woman sees that she can easily sway your peace by withdrawing affection, making you jealous, or provoking emotional reactions, she will instinctively lose respect for you. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because nature compels her to seek strength, not softness cloaked in submission. When a man gives in to emotional roller coasters, he's no longer leading, he's following. And no matter how much she may care for you, she cannot admire what she must constantly test. A woman will push boundaries not to hurt you, but to feel the strength of your limits. She wants to feel your stability, your ability to stay composed under pressure. This doesn't mean being cold or distant, it means being grounded. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In relationships, this means you choose calm over chaos, reason over reaction. You lead with certainty, not sensitivity. When she sees you as emotionally immovable, like a mountain in a storm, her admiration deepens. And that, quietly and powerfully, makes all the difference. Oversharing your weaknesses, vulnerabilities, or emotional wounds too early in a relationship is a mistake that many well-meaning men make, often in the name of honesty or openness. While Stoicism doesn't demand emotional suppression, it teaches discernment, knowing when, where, and how much to share. A high-value man doesn't unload his emotional burdens in hopes of earning sympathy or closeness. Instead, he understands that strength is not just about muscle or bravado, it's about emotional mastery and self-control. When a man begins to vent too early, especially in hopes of connecting with a woman on a deeper level, he often sabotages the very attraction he's trying to build. In the initial stages of a relationship, women are drawn to mystery, composure, and resilience. If you quickly expose your deepest insecurities, traumas, or emotional chaos, she may begin to see you less as a grounded presence and more as someone seeking validation or healing. This dynamic shifts the polarity. Instead of being the calm in the storm, you become the storm. A Stoic man understands that vulnerability, when shared wisely and with intention, can deepen trust. But when it's dumped out impulsively or used as a way to bond, it backfires. Emotional strength means having the courage to face your demons, but it also means having the discipline to process them internally or with trusted guides, not with someone you're still getting to know. Marcus Aurelius didn't sit around publicly complaining about his burdens. He faced them in silence, reflected in solitude, and wrote with clarity. That's the path of a man who leads his life, not one who drags others into his emotional trenches. Save your vulnerability for those who've earned it, not for those who are still deciding if they truly respect you. To live by these truths is not arrogance, it is clarity. A Stoic man is not heartless, he is anchored. He knows that the greatest seduction is presence, the deepest power is silence, and the most attractive man is the one who needs nothing, yet gives everything, on his own terms. Let your actions be still, let your words be few, let your standards speak for you.